Sometimes I feel like I might have picked things up with him too quickly after Preston.
Do you really think that, or you looking for a reason to run?
Well, folks, this entire scene between Danni and Zach was great from this recent episode of Sistas. But one thing I wanted to highlight was that moment towards the end of the conversation where Danni was second guessing whether or not she did a speed run on her, relationship with Tony, kind of as a knee jerk reaction to losing Preston. And Zach didn't invalidate her feelings, but he did ask a fair question like, well, Danni, do you really feel that way? Or is this you going back to your old habits by looking for an excuse to run away? And this is something that she does a lot, especially with Preston in the past. But I think it is a fair question. Do I think Danni has feelings for Tony? Yes, but I think we've all been waiting to see this relationship fall apart because it did not have the best start. I mean, keep in mind, Danni asked Preston for the first time if he wanted to be in a relationship with her. And she did. She did that. And he agreed, and then they went on their first date, and then they went back to her place. Then she got him to smoke on the vape pen, and then he was high. And from there, you had this thing where Tony introduced himself to Danni, and he basically introduced how creepy he was by listening in on her phone calls and conversations for the longest time. And after that, it got to the point where they had the not triple date, but he and Rich were the wingmen to Jordan, who had his first date with Andy, and Sabrina and Danni were there. And from there, they started talking. Then they all went on that walk, and then they got on the bus, and then they had a triple date at Jordan's place where they met Gary and Penelope there. And the whole time, it's like, Danni, you got a man at home. I remember being so pissed off. This was season 6B, right? Yeah, towards the end of season 6, and Tyler's run as writer of the show, where it's like Danni was ready to pop the balloon on all the tea that Gary had piled up, between cheating on Penelope behind Andy's back and, vice versa. And it's just like, Danni, you are the last person to run out here making a spectacle of yourself by unveiling people being deceitful and cheating while you're here with another man, Tony, and you have a whole boyfriend at home who you left high, dry, literally emphasis on high, because you're out here doing, and this, no. And then it got to the point where she started leaving the apartment like a couple of hours early to meet up with Tony, and then Preston caught her, and then he rightfully told her off and left. So you could almost say that after getting that text in the picture, basically saying, you know what, I'm done with you, I'm married now, that she decided to go all in with Tony, and it wasn't due to her really, really liking Tony to the point of she wanted a relationship with him, but she did it because she felt like she had no other choice. Because she was hurt by Preston, who she hurt first. She felt like, okay, this is all I got, Tony, I'm throwing it all in on you. I actually like this. I think that her second guessing is a good thing, because now she could choose to end things with Tony before she goes too far with him, or reevaluate, okay, am I looking for an excuse to leave Tony, or is Tony good for my mental health? I honestly think they should break up, but that's just me. And this doesn't even include the bitter ex-wife or the kids. I'm looking at things where, yeah, maybe you ought to evaluate your relationship if you feel you only got into it because you were hurt by someone else. This is your rebound. But then again, Danni did this to her damn self. So, yeah. Interesting storyline, though. I love how Zach posed the question. I found this to be far more interesting than Miss Lisa questioning whether or not Karen is really feeling Aaron or if she's just horny. That's the alleged father of her other kids, so it doesn't matter. Danni is not married to this man. Danni has time to make a decision. So we'll just have to wait and see. But given the fact that HR is about to get involved next week, I doubt their relationship's going to last, but that's just me. But hey, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next video.